We are starting off today indeed with LucifroN versus Anotand. Two players that don't frequently meet, partly because Anotand, he hasn't really been playing at the highest level for a long time. He really just started getting into this very high level performance in the recent couple of months.
Yeah, I mean, he's been practicing a lot. I know a few people who he's been practicing with. And he's been doing quite well in the Empire Wars tournament, which is kind of a new mod. He seems to be enjoying it.
Yeah, here we go. Game number 1 between Anotand and LucifroN in this best of 5 in the quarterfinals of Empires at War. Anotand and LucifroN, only twice have they played against each other. Anotand is yet to win a series against LucifroN here. LucifroN himself, the champion of Call to Arms, already qualified for the end of the season EGC Finals. But for Anotand, this is a massive series. If he takes out LucifroN here, his place in the EGC Finals is pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah, that's got to be big for him, right? Because that final tournament, I think a lot of people are looking forward to that. I mean, I am myself, right? It's got those new civs. It's going to be super exciting to play in a new format with new civs. I think a lot of people are looking forward to that. Hopefully the viewers as well.
They most definitely are. So here we go. Council Hall coming in for LucifroN, 4 villagers on that landmark, 7 on the other side for Anotand on the Mansa Quarry with an English versus Malians matchup. How do you feel about this matchup? Which player do you favor in here?
I honestly, I haven't played this matchup too much. But generally what I'm seeing from English is like very aggressive play, and I wouldn't assume anything different from LucifroN. I think he's, although with that being said, we are seeing Stone get it quite early, so maybe we're gonna see some 2TC and just some pressure. And although his first pit mine is in the back, his second one is quite exposed, so he's probably gonna try to target that.
That's a great point indeed. Looking at the pit mine locations, this one to the south is pretty far away and it's behind the wood line. It's a prime target for LucifroN to aggress. The other one is tucked all the way at the back. That's going to be difficult for LucifroN to challenge. We'll have to see how aggressive LucifroN plays this, though. He is going for the wheelbarrow for the time being. And he's mining stone, chopping wood. Looks like this is going to be a 2TC build from him.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to see like what he does from here. Because generally as Malians, you're gonna open Donzo's pretty early against. Oh wow, is that that's a third TC?
Wow. All right, playing this one very eco-focused. You see he has no longbows queued up whatsoever. He's just going to boom all the way here. And on the other side, it looks like Anotand is doing the same thing, going heavy on the cattles, no production buildings right now. Both players just heavily eco-focused so far.
Yeah, generally you don't see this too much as English against Malians, because especially in Empire Wars, that cow boom just pops off super quick. We should see in like the next 2 minutes, despite that third TC coming up, Anotand's probably going to be up like 6 eco lead at least. With that being said, you know, these 2 TCs probably will scale better into the super late game, so Anotand's going to need to find some opening to punish it a bit.
Yeah, second TC is very conservative back at home. It's right on the wood line. And the third one went all the way to the north. Anotand yet to scout the base of his opponent here. He's yet to find that he is facing 3 town centers.
Yeah, that's wild. Usually in like a standard mode, not scaling to 340 is like okay, but the game is already so far progressed and he hasn't even seen anything.
Barely gets away with that scout. So important to keep it alive. In Empire Wars, you do start with 2, but still, losing out on 1 scout would have been real painful. I think the bigger thing, Puppy, is that he's yet to spot the third TC. He also didn't scout the stone mine. For Anotand, right now it seems like he's only facing 2 TCs.
Yeah, I mean, and he just builds that blind archer range and sends that javelin across the map because, you know, even I assumed that LucifroN would be pretty aggressive here, which is kind of working to his advantage. LucifroN, that is.
Yeah, I mean, aggressive is probably an overstatement here, just having 1 javelin out there harassing, but we might see a couple more once he gets to Castle Age, because that's exactly the plan for Anotand. He's going to be on the way to Castle Age, and he goes up with the Grand Fulani Corral. Back at home, LucifroN decides to wall himself a little too late to the party, though. This wall will likely be stopped.
Yeah, I think we're going to see White Tower here, just because of how fast this Malian castle timing is.
Yeah, could make a lot of sense. We've seen that back in the past in random map tournaments as well. When players go heavy on the TCs in Feudal Age, they often end up going with a white tower. But LucifroN is still far away from clicking up. He even has to invest into a couple of longbows to deal with this javelin thrower.
Yeah.
A quite fast-paced start here for Anotand. And LucifroN, I feel like he's a little exposed over here for the next few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing English. I think he should be okay, because there's not too much production. But I think if Anotand maybe goes for heavy siege play, picks up the relics on the map, like, he doesn't want to rush this too quick, I think. But I think we're just going to see a macro game from here.
Yeah, longbows will clean up that one javelin. This is a critical piece here for LucifroN. He needs these walls finished. And with that, he's also going to secure the hunt at the back of his base.
Yeah, it's pretty important. I don't know if he's even going to go on this hunt, but his food income is actually pretty good. He's only on sheep though, which is interesting. I don't know if he's going to need food later on.
Sheep.
Yeah. He's just so concerned about rushing up that castle, which makes sense though. And we do see this, this fast monk play.
Yeah, I love this so much for Anotand. He knows he's going to fall behind in eco, or at least in villager count. Needs to get something out of this early castle age, the third pit mine, but more importantly, being able to secure the relics is such a big thing for him.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty likely that this is going to go away game, and he knows that. Oh, wow, okay, and he even sets up trade.
Now, that is not something I expected, I'm not going to lie. And this is not just a random trader. He's going to have a lot of these. Gotta love this against a slow-moving civilization like the English. We've seen this kind of mindset on a map like Canal. When you're facing English with the Mongols, you're trying to exploit the fact that they are just slow, especially when they only have a handful of longbows to work with.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I think maybe he's being a bit too greedy. He's doing like several things at once, and LucifroN is now up to castle. He's got White Tower and the Council Hall, which is essentially like 4 production buildings. And Anotand is, he's put down so much eco buildings that he really doesn't have much military production.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you here, Puppy. It feels like, Anotand is trying to do a little bit of everything, but it might be problematic to make anything happen here. You see, he's actually being denied of the relics. He has 1 relic garrison, that's all. For a castle age advantage that big, that's pretty underwhelming.
Yeah, this is really bad for him, and even, if LucifroN catches this trade, network, it's going to be even worse.
Longbows creeping through. They might not have vision because of the stealth forest, but I think they will spot this one, and LucifroN now has knights to catch them with.
Yeah, I'm really worried for Anotand here.
He's now mixing in some sofas, but he went with the Grand Flonic Corral. Puppy, this looks like a fast imp, though, behind this. He's just piling up resources non-stop.
Yeah, it makes a bit more sense now, but he's just gonna have to sack these traders or something. I don't know what he's gonna do about that.
Yeah, looks like some of these traders will be sacrificed. They made a couple of trips, though, so they might have paid for their price, at least partially.
Yeah, I guess it's not the end of the world. He is going to imp, right? So maybe he can find...
What's the plan in imp, though?
I don't know, to be honest. Like, he's gonna have Imperial Sofas, which are pretty good, I guess. But yeah, I mean, he's gonna be down a huge eco lead, and I don't see what he does.
Resource income per minute is kind of in his favor right now, so for now he is okay, but he's just got no standing army, and even a handful of knights will be so painful to deal with. Gold miner is now being harassed, and more importantly, his imp age-up has just been scouted. Now LucifroN even gets the notification. However, Anotand's eco is just being shut down right now.
Yeah, and he only has sofa production incoming, which is just bad, I suppose. But LucifroN is now picking up these relics, which he shouldn't really get too many as English. He's got castle much later. So he should be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, these knights are still annoying though, but now Anotand is shifting focus. He's going very heavy on the surface, has 3 stables already. And one thing that LucifroN doesn't really have is a massive standing army either. He only has a handful of knights here, and with no range defense but just the first layer, they also die pretty quickly to the TCs.
Yeah, LucifroN needs to be a bit careful here and not throw away too many knights, I think, because, I mean, Anotand now has, I think, four stables maybe. His production is going to start ramping up. And these are obviously Imperial Sofas, so it could be a bit scary if he throws away too many units.
Knight numbers are kind of disappearing for LucifroN. He's got an eco lead of almost 30, but when you look at the resource income per minute, that's not that bad for Anotand. And especially once he secures map control, he's going to regain access to that trade.
Yeah, but I like what LucifroN's doing. He's now getting off knights pretty much. He's just put down a ton of barracks, and he's building a bunch of spearmen because he obviously saw this Sofa transition. And he's probably going to play a lot more passive now that he has the relics in the map.
Yeah, the relic collection thing did not work out for Anotand at all. He's still on just 1 relic, and LucifroN is bringing in the 3rd one already.
Yeah, it looks like Anotand might stop that one if he can find it. Looks like he... Oh, yeah.
Oh, he was short-sighted because of the Stealth Forest. Still finds the monk, though.
Yeah. Yeah, that game might steady out a bit, but if I was playing this, I'd just sit back, but LucifroN's like, nah, man, I just push.
Yeah, mixing in the Spearman is definitely something that Anotand wasn't really prepared for yet. He's very heavy on the Sofas. Luckily for him, these are not Imperial Age Spearmen at all. In fact, they might be Feudal Age only.
Yeah, once he picks those off, he can just run in, but he might take the fight anyway.
Volo coming in here, that will not connect, and this is a nice cleanup here by Anotand. Catches all those Spearmen without the Knight support. Takes this fight here against the Knights as well, but it looks like he just doesn't have enough to overwhelm the Knights. And as Vodka is highlighting, these are only veterans. No imp upgrade on those Sofas either.
Going imp and he can't even afford it, that's... Oh, there it comes, okay. But yeah, not ideal.
Yeah, that's just... You feel like he wanted to be so quick that he ended up being slow because of that. He went to Imperial so quickly, but his gold miners are being harassed, he was exposed, he's late with the upgrades as a consequence. And at the end of the day, you really feel like he didn't get much out of this fast imp so far.
Yeah, I wonder if he even missed macroed. I mean, it's very easy to do as Malians. Your gold and your food income is so high, and your wood income often lags behind. And especially because he's putting it into trade, he might not have the extra wood income for production.
Yeah, his wood income isn't spectacular by any means. His food is great, obviously. Grand Fulani Corral helps a lot with that. Gold income is pretty good as well, especially with the traders up. But once this trade gets cut off, his eco is going to be fairly feeble.
Yeah, this push here, I think this could be good for Anotand. I mean, it's obviously scary, but if LucifroN gets caught out here... ooh, I don't know about that, though. I was going to say let him
go
into the base of it.
Yeah, it's 25 Sofas now with the imp upgrades, fighting against crossbows and the Spearmen. The Spearmen do brace on the north, and it looks like these Spearmen will inflict heavy casualties on Anotand. Once again, the lack of supporting units to those Sofas is showing on the battlefield.
Yeah. I mean, he just doesn't have the production for it. But I'm surprised he took that fight so eagerly. I think he should have just let LucifroN overextend a bit.
Yeah, this is a decent fight here for Anotand. He's going to clean this up, but his losses are massive as well, losing a lot of pricey units.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at this, LucifroN's got like a huge run of units coming in. He can really afford this pretty easily. Even Monk joining the fray.
Yeah, it looks like Anotand is going to be repelled, and with the tower going up, now you have the network of Castle's Aura as well for LucifroN. He's still very heavy on the spears. First Musafati Gunner just now coming out for Anotand. He's going almost exclusively into Sofas, and look at what LucifroN is doing. He's mining stone, he's creeping up. He might try to cut off the trade altogether.
Yeah, I mean, this is not looking good. He could even stonewall this if he really wanted to, and that'd be the end of this trade.
Yeah, it's a lot of trade going down here, and when you only have 1,400 gold per minute, a lot of that comes from the traders. That's going to be a lot of lost eco, and Anotand doesn't really have the army to fight this right now.
Yeah, he's gonna try to cut off reinforcements, which is about as good as he can do, but I mean, I don't see how he can deal with this in the long term.
LucifroN still in Castle Age. Gets his reinforcements caught off guard. A lot of crossbows and men-at-arms falling victim to this. And Anotand, he might be looking to finally hit the eco for the first time in this game. He has had the mobility advantage for a while, but he never really used it.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Anotand, man. I don't know what could save him now. But he's gonna fight on.
He's going to raid in. Yet to find a lot of villagers, though. His own eco is being pressed on to against now. Musafati gunners are coming out as a response to the spears, and these sofas, they could at least buy him some time here, Puppy. A lot of farmers getting picked off, no response from LucifroN to that.
Yeah, he's finding a lot of damage. But LucifroN's on 125 workers. He's got the eco to Riz.
Fair point. He needs to lose a lot of villagers, and the thing is that Anotand is losing a lot as well. He's lost 18 eco in a game where he had way less than his counterpart.
Yeah. I don't see it. I think Anotand is pretty dead. If he pulls off this miracle, I would be surprised. Impressed.
Musafati Gunner's finally coming in for the cleanup, but he's at 100 population against a fully pop-capped LucifroN, and slowly his raiding force is getting cleaned up. He's back to 23 sofas, though. He's not giving up just yet, Puppy. His food income is great. It's actually better than LucifroN's. Gold income, just as good. He's definitely on the back foot eco-wise now compared to LucifroN, but he's still alive.
We do see this cheeky wall up in the north from LucifroN. I like it. Just controlling the map, he's got the villagers up there to do so.
Yeah, I love this, just confining your opponent into his base. Now, LucifroN is still in Castle Age, let's not forget that. So the tech advantage is on the side of Anotand. Now has a sizable force of Musafati gunners that he can use to pick off the spears with.
Yeah, he's gonna need to take a good fight here. I mean, yeah, those spearmen are just a huge issue. But he does have a good bit of misfighting gunners, so maybe he can find some damage.
He needs some siege to deal with these towers, though. Reinforced towers over here projecting the network of Castle's aura. And without those towers being cleaned up, there is just no option to trade right now for Anotand.
Yeah, his trade is dead. I don't even know if he has any traders left.
Yeah, probably not much. Pitmai should be getting close to depletion, though, and that's going to be a point of concern for Anotand soon.
Yeah, and LucifroN's going up as well here. He's putting the Berkshire. I don't quite know. It looks like very defensively, which makes sense as well. Berkshire is one of those landmarks you can put defensive, aggressive. It's very good in general.
Yeah, even Vodka cannot find it. You see, it's kind of well hidden. To the south, we had this second trade post used by Anotand to trade. So he had some trade going at least the last couple of minutes. But now, LucifroN is up to Imperial, and you see, he knows he's in a great position. He's just going to place a very defensive Berkshire Palace, making sure that he won't get surprised by a counterattack here.
Yeah, I'm surprised Anotand's actually still in this. Maybe if he can just take like a super good fight in the next minute here, and keep his huge army, he can find a way back in this game.
He's got a much better quality for his army. You see 12,000 army value against 7,500, and imp upgrades are not yet in for LucifroN, and his gold mine to the north, it's gonna get raided at the same time as these spearmen will get cleaned up by the Musafati gunners. Villagers are quick to respond, many jump into the towers, only a handful of casualties here for the time being, but raids are starting to intensify over here. Anotand holding on just a tiny bit, trying to drag this game out, trying to turn this around.
Yeah, he's doing super well to drag this out. Raiding is very difficult for him, though. I think he should try to not lose too many silvers here, because he doesn't have the eco LucifroN does to appraise these. Yeah, and that's not good. He's losing a bunch up north there.
Oh, that's a catastrophic loss. So many expensive sofas going down here. Not something that Anotand can really afford. Still just 124 population out there. Forces a lot of idle time with these sofa raids. Gets his trade back as well. I don't know about you, Puppy, but I feel like at least he bought himself a little time. Is that enough? I certainly do not know. But I feel like Anotand's position is slightly better than what it used to be 3 minutes ago.
For sure, I thought he was dead, but he's making a bit of a comeback here. I would love to see maybe a keep on this trade post, just something so that LucifroN just can't run in there immediately. He needs to wait for some siege or something to push.
That's a sizable force though, 26 elite sofas, 26 Musafati gunners as well. LucifroN's got crossbows, LucifroN's got spearmen and men-at-arms as well, but not much that deals with the Musafati gunners themselves.
Yeah, he's kind of got this makeshift army. He's got a bunch of different units in here. And I was gonna say he just needs to push. He's max pop, he's got a bank going up now. And Anotand just doesn't have the resources to replenish his army.
Yeah, Anotand Zico not looking very healthy right now. He's slowly building up his villager count as well, but we talked about this, Puppy. Those pit mines are very close to depletion. And I think critically, Anotand is still lacking many blacksmith upgrades. LucifroN is now essentially maxed out with those.
Yeah, I didn't even look at that. That's a good point. His army is more valuable. Those Musafati gunners are pretty strong, but these units are upgraded for LucifroN, so... And he doesn't even need to trade well. He can just he just needs to take a decent fight at least.
Trade getting pushed over here, flanking coming in from Anotand, shielded by the Stealth Forest though. LucifroN getting caught off guard over here, probably didn't see the full army from the Stealth Forest. Has all the crossbows wrapped, Musafati gunners chasing as well, and this is a beautiful surround by Anotand. Gets most of the infantry cleaned up as the crossbows lag behind. Lovely fight here for Anotand.
Yeah, I think that was about the best fight he could have taken. I'm not sure if it's enough though, but it's a good start.
Oh, beautiful fight. A lot of sofas going down though. We'll have to see if sustainability is something that Anotand can manage for the time being. As you said, it feels like this was the best fight he could have taken, but it might still not be enough.
Yeah, I mean, at least he didn't lose those gunners there. The sofas, obviously they're expensive, but I think he's more stranded on gold here.
Especially with those traders being pushed, at least he cleans this tower up, but now fighting into an increasing amount of crossbows and longbows of the Musafati gunners, that does not feel good. And that fight was without biology. That deck has just finished for Anotand.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that. That would have helped a good bit, for sure. His main army was pretty much cavalry there. Yeah, I think even like a keep from LucifroN or Anotand, this spot, they're fighting over this one spot here. It's very odd to not see either of them put down a keep.
Yeah, Anotand hasn't mined a single bit of stone so far. He's at a complete flat zero.
Yeah, and the tower is obviously very good for LucifroN as well. I mean, it's going to give him that network of castles. And that vision, so he doesn't get caught out like last time. Yeah, and Anotand has just been struggling. He's been fighting on for a while here. I mean, he's doing a good job, but I don't know.
Yeah. Walls are now complete on LucifroN's side, and Lucy, just no sofas out here. Anotand splitting up his army, having all of his Musafati gunners massacred by the longbows. Trade is now being shut down as well. Those sofas were so much needed here, but they're nowhere to be found. Instead, they try a desperate counterattack into the eco of LucifroN. They need to do terrific damage here, though.
Yeah, now the trader's cut off, and I don't think those sofas are going to get enough damage done. He's going to have to kill like 50 bills at least.
Yeah, that's a good raid, and not many forces back at home for LucifroN. This is a decent start, but as you said, he needs to inflict massive casualties here on LucifroN to have a chance in this game. And you see, Villagers Garrison, Sofa's now torching down buildings instead of hitting vills. Only a handful of casualties on the side of LucifroN.
Yeah, and I think a huge issue for Anotand is that he got pushed off that southern gold, and I don't see any gold mines left on the map here that he can easily take.
He never even cleaned up that eastern portion of the map with the towers, so he cannot even go back to that other neutral trading post.
Oh.
And even that gold mine to the very north of the map, that is not something that he can control.
Yeah, I mean, he's taking the southern gold mine by LucifroN's side here, and those two villages are gathering together. I mean, sometimes you gotta take risks like this when you're behind, right?
You absolutely have to gamble on this, indeed. LucifroN not yet spotting all those villagers mining gold. That's the lifeline of Anotand right now, trying to get back into this game. His eco is still feeble, though. And you see, when the Bardic Shirpalas is out there, and you still only have the second range defense upgrade, your Sofas will still die very quickly.
Yeah, it's one of the bigger upgrades when you're playing against English. In the late game in general, those ranged upgrades are important. And every time he's fighting at a disadvantage, pretty much.
Maybe except for this fight. This is a lovely fight over here. Gets a good wrap on the crossbows. Not many spearmen to be found nearby. LucifroN's got like 30 coming in, though.
Yeah. Anotand's a fighter, man. He's gonna keep going.
He's still trying, but it's just looking desperate at this point. Has to take disadvantageous fights again and again. And lovely micro here by LucifroN. Gets close enough with the longbows to focus down the Musafati gunners. And now all the Musafati gunners are gone. He's got 30 plus spearmen on the field with 20 more in queue. And now barely anything from Anotand to save those Sofas with.
Yeah, I mean, this game is looking very good for LucifroN, but it does, yeah, and that's gonna be it.
GG is called here. LucifroN takes game number 1. Went 3 DCs to start the game with. Anotand trying to pull off a fast Imperial trade game, but kind of getting punished for the fact that he just rushed that Imperial.
Yeah, I mean, I think I didn't expect LucifroN to play that passively as well at the start, though, so maybe he was thrown off a bit by that. And despite losing this game, I think overall Anotand played pretty well in the end. I mean, he was coming from a huge deficit, and he managed to extend the game for at least a good 10 minutes, at least, I think.
Yeah, he definitely made the most out of this game, and there were moments where you even felt like there could be a glimpse of hope for him. But that fast aim just did not pay off. You see, he reaches Imperial at like 8 minutes in-game time compared to 14 minutes from LucifroN. He even beat him to Castle Age, but LucifroN was the player who secured 4 out of the 5 relics, and really, Anotand wasn't really able to punish with that much quicker Imperial either.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that graph, I didn't even see that Imp is so soon in the game, and he wasn't able to do anything with it.
All right, folks, this is game number 1 in this best of 5. Let's take a look at the draft, though, because this is going to be the first time we see the draft in detail. Game number 2 coming up on the first home map of Anotand. We are going to be visiting Kawasan here. But, Puppy, looking at these maps, Kawasan, Hillandale for Anotand, Canal, Dry Arabia for LucifroN, how do you feel about this matchup?
I think this matchup's pretty good for Abbasid. I think I only played this matchup I only played Abbasid a few times. And Abbasid is very strong in this map. Like, they go up very quick, usually in a standard mode. The age up timing kind of affects Abbasid a lot on these hybrid maps, but with Empire Wars, you quick up like instantly. The docks are cheaper. You save a lot of res, so you can build military ships. Generally, I think Abbasid probably is the strongest civ in this map.
Well, we have 2.5 minutes left to go over here. Let's take a very quick look at the schedule of the day, though, because we have some crazy quarterfinals coming up here. Right now, LucifroN up 1-0 against Anotand. And once we have this set finished, we will take a look at Marine Lord versus Recon here in the second quarterfinals, followed by Vortex versus the Mista and B versus Louis MT. For the second half of the day, Beastie will be joining me to give his insights on these upcoming games.
Yeah, it's gonna be some good games for sure. I'm excited. Yeah, I think even Recon versus Moonworld, I think obviously Moonworld's the favorite, but Recon has shown that he can be quite quite tricky, I'd say.
Yeah, it's definitely a trap game for Marine Lord. You feel like it's one of those games where he is the favorite, but Recon is no easy pushover by any means. And this could definitely be a lot of upset potential on his side.
Yeah, and he's not a player that is afraid to try like multiple things, right? Like you could see some very out there strategies that tries to kind of catch Marino off guard.
So, HRE versus Abbasids here in game number 2. As you said, the whole process of the early game is accelerated by Empire Wars. The timing for Feudal Age, the timing for Castle Age as well, of course. But we have the HRE here. Could we see another fast Imperial? Could we see LucifroN trying to just rush Imp for the Palace of Schwabia?
I mean I could be wrong, but I think they're both gonna fight over water here. It's still very important uh in these Empire War games. What you might see though is maybe some water aggression into some double TC because that middle has so much food on it. Especially for Abbasid, the berries can be quite nice.
Well, just 15 seconds left to go. LucifroN with a 1-0 lead. He already qualified for the EGC finals at the end of the fall season, thanks to his victory in Call to Arms, but obviously he wants to continue that success being the champion of Call to Arms. He wants to repeat that here at Empires at War. He's leading 1-0 against Anotand here in the quarterfinals as we head into game number 2. Any moment now, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 2 of this best of 5 between LucifroN and Anotand. LucifroN up 1-0 here in the quarterfinals of the EGCTV Empires at War. And we have LucifroN with the Holy Roman Empire in yellow, facing off against Anotand with the Abbasids in red on Kavasan. With me is the legendary Puppypaw. How do you feel about this matchup, Puppy?
I mean, as I was talking, but we can already see Anotand is aging up before LucifroN has even started his round mark here, which is super nice to episode on this map. And those docks are both being put up by both players on each side here. So I think they're just gonna fight over water here in a second. Well, maybe in a minute. And probably it's more important for LucifroN to win this water here because Anotand has a much easier transition into that double TC.
And we will have a dock on both of these spawns by LucifroN. Anotand, a little late to the party, just now finishing his first dock on the eastern pond. And it looks like he's actually going double docks on the northern one. You see, there are 2 little red dots to the north of that northern pond, and also a red dot to the south. Abbasids, obviously getting a discount on the docks, means that he can easily afford this.
Yeah, this double dock play is just because he wants to go the emplacements very quick. And we see that from his stone gathering here, so it looks like he's gonna go multiple emplacements on each of these ponds here. And it's just gonna make sure that he can kind of hit the fish from all angles here.
On the other side, Alkan Chapel in for LucifroN opens with double galleys, 1 on each pond. As we will have Anotand reaching Feudal Age just in this very moment. Lovely Alkan Chapel spot over here, although some of the future farming spots are blocked by the TC.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Anotand does here. He's building 1 Hulk in the north, I believe. But I'm not sure. He doesn't. Usually, you have fishing ships to heal up these military ships, but he might just go with a very quick aeroswits on these docks.
Yeah, Bugla coming out here for Anotand. He was able to finish this dock to the south with the last bit of HP left on that villager. And you see this galley, it's taking a bit of punishment here from the Bugla already. Villager out there to repair, so are some fishing boats. But for the time being, there's a bit of a stalemate on that 1 pond. To the south, it's kind of the same. You have galleys for LucifroN, but they don't do much against these docks.
Yeah, LucifroN seems to be very invested into these military ships. He's not concerned at all with building aeroswits on these docks, so I'm gonna see how he approaches that once these aeroswits come in. Sometimes you can kind of be very forceful and just repair the military ships and burn down these docks essentially, but with the double Aerosword docks, I don't know if he can do that.
Yeah, the range on those are just crazy. Look at those, sniping out the boats from a distance. Makes it very difficult for LucifroN to take any engagements on these pawns.
Yeah, this is looking pretty good for Anotand. He's invested a lot less into these military ships here, and LucifroN, I don't think he has too much of an answer to these dogs.
Demo ship now getting close, stops on its way towards the Bugla, only to get sniped out here. LucifroN wasn't looking, and that demo was just an easy prey for the Bugla and the docks.
Yeah, it's super good engagement for Anotand here. Without even a archer ship, he managed to take that demo down, and another one going down here.
Oh, this is a very bad fight here for LucifroN. He's losing many, many vessels. You see Doc helping out now. There is a Dow as well to snipe demo ships with. And that destroyed value is just so heavily in the favor of Anotand right now. 950 resources worth as compared to 125.
Yeah, kind of a bit surprising. LucifroN usually is very sharp on this water fight, but he's losing a ton, and he's going to lose another engagement over here.
Yeah, beautiful demo connections, sinking that one last Hawk. Now this dock is under attack as well. And behind this, Anotand was also picking up a lot of eco upgrades. His eco is definitely serviceable at the very least, though LucifroN wants to go into Castle Age over here.
Yeah, I'm super concerned for LucifroN here. Anotand could just pump out a ton of fishing boats now that...
This could be Burgrave, though.
Yeah,
could this be Burgrave in the middle?
I think it will be, yeah. I mean, he's kind of desperate here if he doesn't make this walk.
Oh, this is such a gutsy call here. Kind of gambling on the fact that Anotand doesn't have a single land unit that he can use to stop this with. But he lost access to the pawns.
Oh, he scouts it. Okay, this is important.
He's going to find the Burgrave Palace out there. Sees that it's on the way, but he's nowhere close to Castle Age himself. LucifroN, the big question is how many resources he's going to have to use that Burgrave. He's now giving up on the pawns entirely with that last hawk being sunk. And look at that. So many villagers on food, but very short supply of sheep available. I don't know how long he could sustain pushing infantry from the Burgrave.
Well, fortunately, he's got this berry mass in the middle here, so he can kind of migrate a few villas if he needs to. But yeah, it's going to be on Anotand to see if he can kind of defend this. I mean, he doesn't have any ranges. He's trying to go up, which I think might be too greedy, actually.
Yeah, it's 140 to wait. He's actually fleeing all the way to the south. It's going to make it a little bit more difficult for LucifroN to hit that eco. Range is now coming up as well. A market too. Once he gets to Castle Age, he can deal with this using crossbows. The question is, how much eco is he going to have left by the time he reaches Castle Age?
Yeah, just a small thing. He does start with a market, so that's a bit odd, but sometimes you forget that. Yeah, this could be game ending. He might have invested a bit too much in water, which is pretty unfortunate considering he was in such a good position.
First couple of men-at-arms just now arriving. They do have the Castle Age upgrade now, but no marching drills yet. Love to see how Anotand shifted villagers to that exposed gold mine to the east.
Yeah.
He knew fully well that the gold mine is going to be the primary target, so he snuck out before the arrival of the men-at-arms.
Yeah, that's actually super smart. I didn't realize how important that was. He might even be able to just like give up a bunch of idle time here and be okay with it with his water control.
Yeah, he does have some food eco coming in from the fish, so having these villagers shut down by the men-at-arms and just running low on berries is also not catastrophic. He's also trying to sneak up a couple of ranges at the back, hoping that he can mass a couple of crossbows before the men-at-arms arrive, but these will be scouted for the time being. His gold miners haven't been scouted yet, though.
Yeah, this is a odd position. You don't see this every day, where Abbasid actually has the water control and H3 is all in. I think with villagers this split, LucifroN might actually need to just sit on this production.
Production is also well split, though. We have one range to the north, a second one right now being constructed, and two ranges to the south as well. Camel riders popping out from the military wing, also very beneficial here. Tanky unit helps cleaning up these men-at-arms.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's very easy for me to say that he should just like send one man at arms across the map to look for these bills and then send the rest on this production, but that it looks like that's exactly what he's doing here.
Yeah. I don't know if he has that gold mine scouted though. That man at arms isn't really heading towards that specific gold mine. Crossbows though getting picked off as they spawn. Anotand, can he get some more crossbows out? That's the question. He's facing 27 men at arms, Puppy. I feel like this
Yeah.
might be insufficient.
Wow, this is yeah, I think he might have needed some camos in the footage here, and for now he's okay, but yeah, I mean especially if he loses that gold income, he's gonna be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, once that gold mine gets scouted, he's going to be in a huge amount of trouble. And you see, LucifroN is doing a great job picking off those individual crossbows, never letting them just group up. And those individual crossbows, they are very exposed to men-at-arms. They can't really do much against them. Anotand just stuck at a single crossbowman out. Finally, the gold mine gets scouted from Anotand, and that could be the beginning of the end here for him.
Even that food income is at, it's a lot lower than I thought. It's only at 500, so I don't even think he can continue this crossbowman production.
Yeah, that food income is just, it's crappy, but it's also the gold. He's got no wood income either. Now the gold mine gets scouted, villagers will be pushed. Anotand in a very bad position now, Puppy. He's got one crossbow to deal with 31 men at arms.
Oh my gosh, and we do see a ram coming out as well. Wow, it's not looking good for Anotand. I think he played this early game a lot better actually than LucifroN here. His transition was just not smooth.
Yeah, lovely idea to sneak out the villagers, but it was scouted, and maybe it would have been better if these archer ranges were grouped up together instead of being split. Those individual crossbows just got picked apart by small groups of men-at-arms.
Yeah. And he's even taking down the docks, which makes sense.
37 men-at-arms, battering rams out there as well, taking out the docks. This is looking desperate for Anotand. He still has a nominal villager lead, but it's just not showing anywhere. Now villagers are getting picked apart, and Anotand is really struggling for resources at this point.
Yeah, 41 men-at-arms. That is a lot of men-at-arms. Oh my gosh.
And there it is. Anotand taps out of this one. It looked so good at the beginning, taking both pawns, but he got surprised by this castle age here. And by the time he gets up to castle, we've seen that so many times with the Abbasids. It takes so long to get to castle with the Abbasids, especially if you're late clicking up compared to your opponent. By the time he arrived, he just got overwhelmed by the men-at-arms.
Yeah, I mean, I think he just invested way too much in water, especially when it was pretty obvious that LucifroN kind of gave it up there. He built a ton of aeroswits on those docks, and then he invested into a ton of military ships as well. And those hulks are not cheap.
Oh man, looking now pretty problematic for Anotand. He's down 2-0. Both of these games, he was competitive, but the game plan just did not seem to work out well enough. You look back at game number 1, rushing fast Imperial even, and that just did not work out at all. And this one, same thing. He went for the pawns, he secured them, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, he definitely could have won this one. It's a very tough one to lose because I think he played the early game quite well. It's one of the better civs for him to lose out on, and if he just had a smooth transition, he would have been winning for sure. I mean, LucifroN had nothing. He had no water. He was very all in there.
Only 45 seconds left to go until game number 3, though. Anotand opting to pick one of the home maps of the opponent over here, going for Canal, trying to keep this series alive. And if this goes into game number 4 and 5, he will still have one home map remaining. LucifroN has the Mongols out here. He's facing off against Anotand's Delhi.
Yeah, we haven't seen Canal too much. I don't think I practiced on it too much as well. I would favor Delhi here a bit. I mean, But we might see Mongo's trade a lot on this map. It's quite a good trade map.
It's definitely a possibility, but you do have to consider that momentum that the Delhi can grab, especially given that this map does have 4 sacred sites. So there's a lot of like all-in style potential over here. And especially given that Anotand is down by 2 games, we might see a very aggressive playstyle over here.
Yeah, this map, actually, you can play a lot of different playstyles on. I've seen people play very passive as Delhi and just take the sites. But you can also kind of push the river if you want to as well.
In we go to game number 3. We will have LucifroN with the 2-0 lead spawning in on the right side with the Mongols in yellow. And on the other side, Anotand is going to be in command of the Delhi, moving up with double villagers all the way to the middle right away, wants to place a dock right in the middle.
Yeah, we see this barracks on Anatan instantly, so we might see a forward dock, maybe. Wouldn't be too surprised. Okay. Well, that's LucifroN's dock, so he might be thinking of forward dock as well here.
3 villagers have been pulled, plus the Khan. He might just be looking to fight this.
Yeah, I think... I mean, this makes sense. The Khan is also very good at picking off these vills early game. But we do have Spearman coming out from Anatan, so it's not the end of the world. He's just going to wait a second here.
Yeah, Spearman moving out for Anotand. He desperately needs those because LucifroN, he has pushed away the villagers for the time being. First Spearman now arriving. In the meantime, LucifroN himself is building his own dock, and now he's just rushing it up. Sees the Spearman arrive, he wants to finish his own dock before his opponent can finish his.
Yeah, this is so weird. Sometimes these Empire Wars, you never know what to expect on these maps. We might even see a tower, maybe? Not sure. But that tower won't come up in time. Holy.
Both docks finish, and I'm actually wondering if you can squeeze a ship in between those two. They might just be blocking out the entire river altogether.
Yeah, I think they are. We're going to see another dock on the LucifroN side here by Anatan. And he won't be able to get military ships past, I'm pretty sure. So.
Yeah, Dome of Faith on the way for Anotand. He's building it with 7 vills. LucifroN already in Feudal Age. What did he age up with? I kind of missed that.
He went with the silver tray. He went 14 on it, so he rushed that one up. Oh my gosh, and the vill goes down. Wow, that Khan just did work.
That he definitely did. Picking off the villager, but more importantly, stopping that other dock. And now, the first Dow popping out intercepts the Spearman as well. Just so annoying for Anotand.
But he's picking off these Spearmen, which are kind of being wasted here. That's like 160 res down the drain.
Yeah,
and even more going down
second
here.
Spearman. Look at this. 3 Spearmen going down the drain. A 4th one also getting picked off. So much value from that single vessel on the river.
Yeah, that Spearman, early Spearman, I mean, they defended the vills, but outside of that, they were kind of worthless, to be honest. He's going to send them to kind of keep an eye on the trade, though, which is useful. We should see dock sweats coming out from LucifroN here in a second.
We should have that for both. We should have that for both players, actually.
Yeah, but maybe. I mean, Anatan's not on stone yet. He needs to gather it. Oh, and he's pulling the spill here. If this Khan gets a third kill, it's going to be...
Anotand tried to be sneaky here, moving in from the south. Might be able to finish the dock. Rate of Fire buff even popped out over here by LucifroN in an attempt to snipe the villain time. He won't stop the dog, but he should get the villager picked.
This Khan needs a medal. He's going to win the game single-handedly.
Second villager picked off. Make it 3, actually. You see it bottom left. We had 3 villagers killed already. 2 of them by this Khan.
Yeah, it's looking pretty tough for Anotand already. And he doesn't even have any dog sweat, so LucifroN is building a few fishing ships from those dogs.
Walls are being built all the way to the north by Anotand. He's just trying to preemptively sub-trade here. But LucifroN is not trading at all. He's got no traders coming out.
Yeah, I was going to say, he seems very concerned about this trade, but LucifroN hasn't invested anything into it.
Yeah. Now, with those walls complete to the north and the south, he also guarantees himself 2 sacred sites, much needed sacred sites those will be for the eco of the Delhi.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna need something, because he's already down 7 vills. And he doesn't seem intent on stopping LucifroN's water at all, as well.
Eco slightly in the favor of LucifroN indeed. He's got a villager lead or worker lead of +7. Ghazi Raider might get picked off here by the Khan. It's debated if it was the Kashyyyk or the Khan that killed the Ghazi Raider, but once again, that Khan is doing work.
Yeah, LucifroN could even push down this river on the west side here and maybe even cut off reinforcements or something. But he seems to be just intent on taking down that dock, which makes sense as well.
Scholar just sneaking in here, but I think he might have been spotted by the Kashyyyk. Kashyyyk with a purpose heading to the sacred site. This would be a catastrophic loss here for Anotand.
Yeah, this would be bad. I don't think he saw it, but it makes sense, right? I mean, Delhi's gonna try to get sacred sites. It's and he sends a scout to the south as well.
Yeah, it's only the scout though. Luckily for him. The board was aggroed on the way, by the way. He tried to aggro the board to try and kill the scholar that was heading there, but one scholar goes down, Anotand getting denied / delayed off that sacred site.
Yeah, and this Northland Skull going down means not only is he going to lose the res, but he's going to lose that income from that site.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just the scholar going down, it's the fact that you had to walk all the way out here, and the fact that you still do not have a single sacred site. Kashyyyk also stopping the walls over here. Not a single sacred site under the control of Anotand.
He might lose that second skull there, and that's going to be pretty awful as well there, and yeah, he does find it.
Oh man. Destroyed value is just up in the skies for LucifroN. 1200 against 400 in this game. First sacred site has just been captured by Anotand, but
I feel like I am seeing a repeat of the last game. Anotand needs to just drop a Burgrave and go all in.
It's just difficult, right? His eco is so feeble right now. He's getting pushed off from the river. He's down by 17 eco already, and he does not have any sacred sites once this one gets decapped.
Yeah, unfortunately, Delhi doesn't have that Burgrave option, but we'll see if he can pull something off here.
Well, they can supervise their production building, so that's something.
Yeah, maybe we'll see a cheeky barrack, a proxy barrack, I don't know. No, but for now he's just fighting for this forward sacred site here. But look at LucifroN's fishing eco. He needs to do something about this, I think.
Yeah, he's got a couple of Ghazi Raiders here, so he does have a response to the Kashyyyk now, but you feel like it's just coming in too late. LucifroN is one step ahead. He's got 14 Spearmen out there, he's torching down this final dock. His fishing eco is completely untouched. I feel like those Ghazi Raiders are the only thing standing between Anotand and being eliminated from the tournament.
Yeah, he's gonna need to find a lot of damage with those Ghazi Raiders. I mean, it's possible that gold is a bit exposed. But LucifroN now just pushing down the center. And yet pretty much has total map control. Except for at those south and north sacred sites.
Oscillage on the way for Anotand, compound of the defender on the way. We know how Village Fortresses could be a game changer for a Delhi player. He's got 1,000 stone in the bank. At this point, Anotand might just be playing for survival, though. He's rushing Castle Age. He's rushing that with 20 villas, Puppy. He's desperate to get into Castle here.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be his way back in the game. I don't think it should happen, but if LucifroN is a bit too passive, he gets 1 or 2 keeps up, you know, it's possible for sure.
Ghazi Raiders trying to get some raiding going, but accomplishing little for the price you pay. Anotand only able to kill a single villager for the price of all those Ghazi Raiders, and now his own eco gets pushed. Archers inside, Kashyyyk inside as well. He does get pushed away from the gold.
Yeah, and LucifroN senses weakness. He's just pushing in right here, which makes sense. And Anotand has nothing at home to defend with this, pretty much.
Yeah, he's got nothing at all, to be honest, all across the map. He's at 15 army. I don't even know where it's at, to be honest. He's got 1 keep up. But that one keep won't keep him alive. His houses are exposed, he could be popcat. His gold mine is exposed, and his wood line is exposed even. He is just going to be denied of all resources at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna keep him alive for a minute here or two. But yeah, I think wood is the biggest issue on this map because you run out very quick, and the other wood is very far on the map, so he's gonna need to find a way to get that keep out near those other wood runs.
Kurultai on the way now for LucifroN. He's also on the way to Castle. Has a sizable army compared to Anotand. And Anotand just completely out of food here. Barely any gold income. He's got less than 300 resources per minute income combined.
Yeah, oh my gosh, look at that. Yeah. He's fighting here though. I mean, this is gonna knock him out if he loses stomp. He's gonna keep trying.
Talk about desperation here. Millions of villagers mining that single stone mine. They are found by LucifroN here. Stone now getting denied as well. At least Anotand has enough for a second keep.
Yeah, I mean, he's trapped though. I mean, look at LucifroN. He's like hovering over the edges here, just trying to make sure another keep doesn't go down.
Yeah, and looks like the berries will be the primary target here. Or at least, I'm not sure if Anotand made up his mind on this just yet. He's trying to secure this gold mine with the keep. Archer should make this a lot more uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing what he can. He's creeping up with these keeps here. And he might get this one up, but I don't know. He's still going to be in trouble. He still doesn't have wood access. And he doesn't have much food as well.
A couple of villagers will be sacrificed for this one. Not something that he can easily afford. Village fortresses is still so far away. And at the end of the day, he has lost 9 villagers in this game already. Almost double the eco out there for LucifroN.
Yeah, and LucifroN's now... I think he's trading a good bit. Like, maybe not. It's a bit difficult to tell. But, yeah, he's
he
up.
could perhaps be trading. It wouldn't be a completely out-of-this-world type of a thing. Yeah, indeed, he's got some traders. Really not much, but it's something.
Yeah. But he's got enough eco. Yeah, he's fine anyway. He doesn't need the trade.
Kashyyyk creeping in once again, taking a couple of villagers down. Berries are being harassed to the south. Anotand is just not being given any breathing room at this point.
Yeah, LucifroN is super good at this. He's being very active. He's not letting Anotand get away with anything he shouldn't, right? Which is very, very good by LucifroN.
Yeah, there's so much momentum on the side of LucifroN now. You really feel like he knows he's super close to getting into the semifinals here. And that poor trader getting poked down by that one spearman that finished the walls. Still, LucifroN's got all the momentum he needs here. And the Kurultai is creeping up to the north. You can see the landmark icon moving across the map. That's going to be the primary angle of attack here for LucifroN, right into the base of Anotand.
I think LucifroN's even a bit confused at what to do. I mean, he's making sure that Anotand's not getting any resources he shouldn't be, but he's got 2.7k food in the bank. I mean, he could even go Emperor.
He certainly could. Or he could just turn all of that into Kashyyyk and overrun his opponent's economy. We'll have to see what he does, but he's trying to shut down these berries, dropping double towers, and just trying to confine his opponent into this very tiny base that he still has.
Yeah, I mean, he's setting up a few towers, which makes sense as well. Just kind of giving him vision, making sure Anotand doesn't do anything sneaky. I'm not sure what Anotand's game plan is here.
I'm not sure either. I feel like this is just a fight for survival at this point, trying to make something out of nothing. Village fortresses have finished, so strictly speaking, now he's got the production to replenish those lost villagers. But his food eco is still very, very scrappy, and on this map, Puppy, it's not easy to make a farm transition either. You're pretty much just confined into your base with no access to wood.
Yeah, no, it's not. You're very short on wood. You don't have much room in your base. You need to go into this map to take res, and LucifroN knows that.
Lancer numbers increasing for Anotand, trying to break out of this stranglehold. He did deplete the stone mine over here, but he does not have enough for a keep. Trying to use the scholars for battlefield healing. He's so desperate for food that he's trying to break out here. Might actually have a window to do so. He's rushing all the way to the north, trying to get some extra stone for himself so he can drop a couple more
Yeah,
keeps.
I'd love to see him just drop a market, buy some stone, and then build that keep on that food grows here. Okay, looks like he did buy some stone, and he's just gonna place it on that bigger stone mine.
Yeah, at this point, he's going all in on the stone, just knowing that it takes a long time to recover, but at least his bases will be difficult to raid, and to be frank, he definitely managed to push out of this one.
Oh my gosh, no to keep
Oh
going down here.
no! That's where the keep was placed at. I thought it was going to be on the north, but this is to the south. So many villagers falling victim to this. He's down to 54 eco. He does finish the keep, but what's the price you have to pay for this?
I think he's willing to pay it. He's on that. He's trying to get on those barriers now, which he needs to produce those villagers. But even those towers could clean up those villagers their own, probably.
Yeah, that's the problem. The towers are still there. His food eco is very scrappy. He didn't even secure these berries. In fact, his base is still wide open from the north. Oh man, he's desperate. He's going to have enough stone for another keep, though.
I think at this point, I think LucifroN could just go up and get like 2 bombards. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, perhaps, but he needs to get rid of those keeps because at this point, those keeps are essentially the lifeline here for Anotand.
Yeah, I think he needs to find a solution for these keeps because he can't just push them like this.
Lance are still alive, though. Anotand did a great job healing them back up, and they definitely took some good fights. In fact, when you look at the destroyed value, now Anotand has the lead. He's been taking some very effective fights quietly.
Yeah, but LucifroN's going in, so he kind of realizes that he needs something else to deal with these keeps. He could have went with trebuchets, which are, you know, an option, but with the res that he had, bombards are gonna do a lot better.
Kaganat Palace is the landmark of choice, as Anotand is trying a desperate counterattack here. A lot of spearmen back at home here for LucifroN, though. It's going to be awfully difficult to inflict any damage here on Lucy.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he taps out. I mean, he, as you can see from the previous game, he fights to the end here, but he's got 0 food income, pretty much. Okay, now 30. He's not even close to him.
Oh, that's so tough, right? He's trying to hold on to this, and he's got the keeps to produce villagers with, but he does not have a single bit of food that he can turn into vills, and there it is. It is GG. LucifroN takes this set 3-0. Anotand did his best over here, but it was just insufficient, as LucifroN will be the first player getting into the semifinals of Empires at War.